Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I am going to teach you about the most insightful essay, What Makes a Nation, written by C. Rajagopalachari. This is a very important and interesting essay, and from this particular essay, one or two questions are going to be given in your examination, and therefore I request all of you to pay a very good attention to this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to consider subscribing to my channel and also sharing this video with all your friends who are also going to take the DSC examination along with you. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. What makes a nation? C. Rajagopalachari. Okay, and before I teach you this very interesting and very important essay, I would like to tell you a few very important introductory points about the writer of this essay, C. Rajagopalachari. Okay, and here you pay attention, key points about the writer. Okay, what are the important points about the writer? Let us see that here. Chakravarti Rajagopalachari. This is the full name of this writer, and commonly and affectionately known as C. Rajagopalachari. So commonly this Chakravarti Rajagopalachari was known as C. Rajagopalachari, and affectionately he was known as Rajaji. Right, was a prominent Indian statesman. You know very well, prominent means very celebrated Indian statesman. Statesman means already I have told you about this in some other essay. Statesman means a person who is well versed in the principles of government. So statesman means in Telugu Rajanitijnudu. Yes, Rajakiya Nayakudu means politician. A politician is different from a statesman. Okay, so here he is not a politician, but he is a statesman, Rajanitijnudu. He was a prominent, a celebrated Indian statesman, and he was a writer also, he was a lawyer, he was also an independence activist. That means he was a person who participated in this struggle for independence. So in that way, this Rajaji was a statesman, writer, lawyer, and independence activist. Right. Another point about him is born on December 10, okay, in 1878 in Thorapalli, Tamil Nadu. So here in Tamil Nadu there is a place called Thorapalli, and in this Thorapalli in 1878 he was born on 10th December. That is all about his birth. And Rajagopalachari played a significant role in India's struggle for independence. So he played a significant role. Significant role means a very important role, okay, in Indian freedom struggle, and later in the formation of the Indian Republic. Even in the formation of the Indian Republic also he played a crucial role, not only in the freedom struggle but also in the formation of this Indian Republic. He played a key role, a very important role. So that point is there. Now let's move on to learn a few more things about this celebrated writer. Rajagopalachari was a close associate, a close friend of Mahatma Gandhi, and one of the leading figures in the Indian National Congress. And here in this point you are going to learn two important things. He was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi. He was a close friend of Mahatma Gandhi, one point, and he was also one of the leading figures, very important figures of the Indian National Congress. And you go to the next point about him. He served as the last Governor General of India from 1948 to 1950. So this is an important general knowledge question. He was the last Governor General of India from 1948 to 1950. Soon after the Britishers left this country, till the Constitution came into existence, he acted as the last Governor General of India. So that is there. And he was also the first Indian to hold this prestigious position. So this Governor General of India, that was a prestigious position, and he was the first Indian to hold this prestigious position. Okay, that thing you understand from this point. Okay, and you go to the next very important point about him. Additionally, in addition to this, Rajagopalachari served as the Chief Minister of Madras, now Tamil Nadu. So now what we call Tamil Nadu, for that state of Madras, he worked as the Chief Minister for some time, and later as the Minister of Home Affairs in independent India. And after that, he also worked as the Minister of Home Affairs in independent India. So in that way, in his lifetime, this Rajaji held so many most prestigious positions. That's why from this also you can understand how celebrated he must have been, how prominent person he must have been. So from this you can understand. Now you go to the next important point. Apart from his political career, apart from his political life, okay, Rajagopalachari was a prolific writer. He was a great creative writer, and he was also a great thinker. He was both a writer and a thinker. Okay, and what did he write? Let us see that. A few more important points are there about this great personality. Let us learn about them also. He authored numerous books, essays and translation. Authored means he wrote. Okay, he composed. Numerous means a large number of, countless, numberless, like that. Books, essays and translations, and thus he contributed significantly to Indian literature and thought. So in that way, to the Indian literature and to the Indian thought, he contributed by writing various books, essays and translations. And you go to the next important point about him. He was known for his clear and concise writings, and all his writings were clear, and they were also very brief, and here often focusing on issues related to morality. Okay, he focused his attention in his writings only on morality, ethics. Okay, morality means moral values, ethics means ethical values, and cultural and spiritual values. Cultural values, spiritual values. These are all there. Okay, moral values, ethical values, cultural values, spiritual values. Yes, focusing on all these very important things. Yes, he wrote so many books in his lifetime because moral values, ethical values, cultural values, spiritual values can only shape a wonderful, a better society. So therefore, he focused only on these very important values of life, okay, that can shape this society, that can shape this country, that can turn any nation into a wonderful and a great nation. So that's why he focused in his writings only on these great values. Okay, and now you move on to the next important point about him. Rajagopalachari was also a strong advocate of social reform and education. You know very well, he was a strong advocate. Advocate means, in other words, a supporter. Okay, he was a strong supporter of social reform. He worked for the social reforms of this country. In those days, there were so many evils in the society. There were prevalent so many superstitions and all that. So he wanted to bring about some social reform among the people. Okay, and therefore he was a strong supporter of social reform and education. He wanted that all the people should get a proper education. And you go to the next important point. He believed in the importance of moral education and the cultivation of virtues like honesty, integrity and compassion. Okay, as Rajaji in his lifetime advocated for what? Moral education. And in his opinion, whenever the students get moral education, they grow up into responsible citizens. And whenever the students, the children become responsible citizens of that country, the society becomes better, the nation becomes better. So that is the idea of this Rajaji, and therefore he gave top priority to this moral education, and he also asked the people to cultivate virtues, to form virtues. What kind of virtues? Honesty. Okay, honesty is very important. Truthfulness is very important. Nowadays, this is lacking in the people. Okay, integrity, goodness, and compassion, kindness. So nowadays, these three very, very important virtues cannot be seen very frequently, but nowadays they can be seen very rarely among the people. That is really a very disappointing and unfortunate thing, because these virtues are rarely to be seen among the people nowadays. And that's why, whenever these virtues are there in the people, that society becomes great, that nation becomes great. That is the idea of this Rajaji. Therefore, he wanted the people to inculcate in themselves the virtues like honesty, integrity, and compassion. నిజాయితీ, మంచితనము, దయార్థ హృదయము, ఇవి మనిషికి ఉండాలి. ఇవి ఎక్కడ చూసినా కనుచూపు మేరలో కనిపించడం లేదు ఈ రోజుల్లో. అందరూ చాలా ఇవి లేకుండా ప్రవర్తిస్తున్నారు. ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు బ్లేమ్ ఎనీబడి, బట్ ద థింగ్ ఈజ్ లైక్ దట్, యు నో వెరీ వెల్. అండ్ హిస్ రైటింగ్స్ ఆఫెన్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ హిస్ డీప్ కన్సర్న్ ఫర్ ద moral and ethical development of individuals and society as a whole. And through his writings, he appealed to all the people of this country to have moral and ethical development. He wanted that people should have moral development. He wanted the people should have ethical development. Moral and ethical development means the people must possess moral values and ethical values. And whenever they possess those values, what happens? Automatically, the society in which they are living looks very, very great, and that looks very good. And automatically, the whole nation also looks great and good. So that's why he appeals to all the people of this country to have moral values and ethical values, so that the society can become better, and thus the nation can also become better and greater and all that. Okay, and now let's move on to learn a few more things about this writer. In recognition of his contributions to India, that means in recognition of his contributions, means in recognition of his services to this great country, India, Rajagopalachari was awarded the Bharat Ratna. What is this Bharat Ratna? India's highest civilian honor in 1954. This Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian honor. Because of his great contributions to this country, because of his praiseworthy service to this country, he was awarded the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award, the prestigious award, okay, that can be conferred on any Indian. Okay, and here this Bharat Ratna was conferred on him, bestowed upon him, right, in 1954, right. That is the greatness of this Rajaji. And you go to the last point, his legacy. His legacy means his heritage or inheritance continues to influence Indian politics. Even today in the Indian politics, you can find his mark, his influence, okay, and in the literature also you can find his influence, in the social thought also you can find his influence. In that way, in the Indian politics, in the Indian literature, in the Indian social thought, you can still find his influence, okay, his impact. Right, that is all about this great personality, that is C. Rajagopalachari or Rajaji. Okay, and now let's move on to learn about a few very important introductory points about this essay, What Makes a Nation. Right, key points about the essay, What Makes a Nation, right? And What Makes a Nation by C. Rajagopalachari is an insightful means very prudent, sagacious or wise essay that delves into the fundamental qualities and principles that can define a nation. So it delves into means it examines, it explores what? The fundamental qualities, the basic qualities and principles that can make a nation. What are the fundamental qualities that can make a nation? What are the fundamental principles that can make a nation? So about that, he tells us in his essay what makes a nation. Okay, therefore this essay has been termed as an insightful essay, very wise essay, very sagacious. Okay, the essay explores the concept of nationhood beyond geographical boundaries. So in this essay, C. Rajagopalachari tells us about the concept of nationhood. Okay, and focusing on the moral, cultural and spiritual aspects that bind people together into a nation. And here, while telling us what makes a nation, he focuses on moral, cultural, spiritual values that only can bind the people together, tie up the people together and into a nation. Okay, the moral values, the cultural values, the spiritual values can only bind the people, tie up the people together into a nation. So today in India, all the people of different languages, different customs, different traditions are living together as one nation, as one people. Means it's all because of these moral, cultural and spiritual aspects only. We have those very good qualities, and that's why we are now able to live in one country as one people. ఒకే దేశంగా, ఒకే ప్రజలుగా మనం జీవించగలుగుతున్నాం. That's all there because of that. So in this way, here in this essay, he explored the concept of nationhood. దేశం అంటే ఏమిటి? Some Gurujada Appara says, దేశం అంటే మట్టి కాదు, దేశం అంటే మనుషులు. What kind of మనుషులు? Having the moral values, having the cultural values, having the spiritual values. ఇగో moral, cultural, spiritual values కలిగినటువంటి ఆ ప్రజలతో కూడినదే దేశము. అదే ఈ ప్రజలందరినీ ఒక దగ్గరికి కలిపి పెట్టుతుంది. It can only bind people together into a nation. ఆ ప్రజలందరినీ ఒక దగ్గరికి కలిపి పెట్టేస్తుంది, ఒక దేశంగా వారందరినీ కలిపి ఉంచుతుంది ఈ వాల్యూస్. Therefore in this essay he is emphasizing the importance of these values, right? And you go to the next point. He emphasizes the fact that a true nation is characterized by a shared sense of identity. That means okay, shared means common feeling of identity. Identity means oneness. Ekatvamu. Okay, prajalamu. Something like that. So what is a true nation? The true nation is a result of what is that? Combined feeling of oneness. Combined. Shared means combined, united, common, anything. Combined sense means feeling of oneness, as common values and collective moral responsibility among its citizens. So these things only. First point is the combined feeling of oneness, the common values and collective moral responsibility. 1, 2, 3. These things, if they are there in the people, they only can make a nation, a true nation, a great nation, a strong nation and so on. ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రజల్లో ఇగో మనమంతా ఒక్కటే అనే భావన, మంచి కామన్ వాల్యూస్, కలెక్టివ్ మారల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ, ఈ మూడు కలిగి ఉంటారో అట్టి ప్రజలే ఆ దేశాన్ని ఒక మంచి దేశంగా, ఒక బలమైన దేశంగా, ఒక గొప్ప దేశంగా మార్చగలుగుతారు అని. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ దిస్ సి Rajagopalachari is telling you in this great essay, right? It also underscores means emphasizes. It also underscores that unity, cultural heritage, ethical values and education. Okay, unity, cultural heritage, ethical values and education play a crucial role in building and sustaining a nation. So this essay underscores, emphasizes that these things, unity, cultural heritage, ethical values means again moral values. Ethical values, moral values are one and the same, you know very well. And education, only these things play a crucial role in building and sustaining a great nation. ఒక దేశం గొప్ప దేశంగా విలసిల్లాలి, మరి వెలగాలి అంటే ఇగో these things play a crucial role. Unity is very important. Unity among the people is very important. Cultural heritage, great cultural heritage is important. Ethical and moral values important. Education. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are very, very important for any country to become a great nation. Therefore, in this essay, Rajaji is emphasizing the fact that these things only can make a great nation. ఇవి మాత్రమే ఒక దేశాన్ని గొప్ప దేశంగా మార్చగలుగుతాయి అని చెప్తున్నారు. రైట్, యు గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ పాయింట్. త్రూ దిస్ ఎస్సే Rajagopalachari aims to inspire a sense of national pride, a responsibility among the people. That means through this essay Rajagopalachari is trying to inspire. Inspire means to bring out or to draw forth what? A sense of national pride. A sense means a feeling of national pride. National pride means what? Taking pride in one's own nation. నీ దేశమందు నీవు గర్వపడాలి. ప్రతి ఒక్కడు తమ దేశం అంటే గర్వపడుతుంటాడు. మా దేశం గొప్పది అని ప్రతివాడు అంటాడు. ఈవెన్ we the Indians say మేరా భారత్ మహాన్. India is great. We say that because we belong to India. India is our country. We are the citizens of this country. And therefore, we take pride in our own country. And that is what he is trying to inspire through this essay. And he is also trying to inspire what? A sense of responsibility among the people. Today, people are behaving without any responsibility. ఇలా జరిగితే నాకేంది, వాడిటి పోతే నాకేంది, వీడిటి పోతే నాకేంది, నేను బాగుంటే చాలు. దిస్ ఇస్ మీనింగ్లెస్. యూ మస్ట్ టు హ్యావ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ. యూ మస్ట్ బిహేవ్ విత్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ. బాధ్యతతో చేయాలి. యు ఆర్ ద సిటిజన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కంట్రీ. యూ మస్ట్ బిహేవ్ విత్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ. And he is trying to inspire that sense of responsibility among the people. Not only that, he is also urging the people to cultivate the virtues. He is also asking the people to cultivate certain virtues. Honesty, integrity, kindness. These are the great virtues. Moral values, ethical values. Great virtues. This Rajaji is asking all of you to cultivate these great virtues so that this country can become a great country, a rich country. ఒక దేశం గొప్ప దేశంగా పరిడవిల్లాలంటే దేశంలోని ప్రజలంతా కూడా గొప్ప లక్షణాలను కలిగి ఉండాలి. మరి నాడు మన భారతదేశంలో అందరు అట్లాగే ఉన్నారా? ఎంత మోసం. అందుకే అప్పుడెప్పుడో సినిమా వచ్చింది, దాంట్లో అంటాడు, అవినీతి బంధు ప్రీతి చీకటి బజారు అల్లుముకున్న ఈ దేశం ఎటు దిగజారు. ఓహో, ఇప్పుడు 50 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం కవి రాసిన వ్రాత చూడండి ఎంత గొప్పగా ఉందో. అవినీతి బంధు ప్రీతి చీకటి. అవే కాదండి, ఈ రోజుల్లో అయితే భయంకరమైనటువంటి ఒక దిక్కు చూస్తే కరప్షన్ అయితే విపరీతంగా ఉంది. ప్రతి ఒక్కటి మీదికంచి కరప్షన్ అంటే నాకు తెలియదు అన్నట్టు. ఎవ్రీబడి ఈజ్ రిసార్టింగ్ టు 99.99% పీపుల్ ఆర్ రిసార్టింగ్ టు కరప్షన్. ఛాన్స్ దొరక కొందరు చేస్తలేరేమో కానీ ఛాన్స్ దొరికిన ప్రతి వాడు కరప్షన్. ఆల్ కైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాడ్ థింగ్స్ ద పీపుల్ ఆర్ రిసార్టింగ్ టు. అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ వై డాక్టర్ సినారెడ్డి సెడ్ లాంగ్ అగో, ఎక్కడికెళ్తుంది దేశం ఏమైపోతుంది, ఎక్కడికెళ్తుంది దేశం ఏమైపోతుంది, హిమశైల శిఖరం పైక పాతాళ కుహరంలోక ఎక్కడికెళ్తుంది. కవి ఎంత వాపోతున్నాడు, ఎంత బాధపడుతున్నాడు. ఎక్కడ చూసినా అవినీతి, అక్రమాలు, మోసాలు, దగాలు. ఏమిటి ఇదంతా? ఇట్లా ఉంటే ఎట్లుంటుంది ప్రజలలో? అందుకే ఈనాటి సొసైటీకి రాజాజీ యొక్క ఎస్సే తప్పక చదవాలి ప్రజల స్టూడెంట్స్ అంతా కూడా. దిస్ మస్ట్ బి స్టడీడ్ బై ఆల్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్, all the moral. The students must be taught moral values, ethical values. They must be taught the importance of honesty, integrity. His reflections are particularly relevant in the context of India's post-independence period. You know very well, we are in the post-independence period. That means the aftermath of independence. Okay, before independence, people fought against the Britishers. You know very well. After that, India won independence. People have got freedom. People now are free. Okay. But that does not mean you should behave in a way that pleases you only and not others. Okay, that means you should not behave as you please, but you should behave with responsibility. నీ ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా ప్రవర్తించడం కోసం స్వేచ్ఛ సాధించుకోలేదు మనం. దేశానికి స్వాతంత్రం రాలేదు. We must behave with రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ, బాధ్యతతో మనం ప్రవర్తించాలి. ఎక్కడుంది బాధ్యత? ఇన్ ద కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కంట్రీ, ఇన్ ద బిల్డింగ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కంట్రీ, in the making of this country into a great country, rich country. We must behave with responsibility, but that responsibility is now lacking in the people. That is really a very unfortunate and disappointing thing. Okay, whatever it is, here you pay attention. This is about that. With this, the key points about this essay are over, and now let's move on to learn about the essay itself. Right. Summary of what makes a nation in a nutshell. In a nutshell means very briefly. Okay, very quickly I teach you this essay. Already most of the points, important points are discussed in the introduction, and here you pay attention. Rajagopalachari begins by questioning the common perceptions of what constitutes a nation. You know very well, Rajagopalachari begins his essay with a question that is called a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question means it's a question expecting no answer from others. That's called a rhetorical question. And that is called this what makes a nation. He is asking this question, but are you going to give any reply to this question? No. It's therefore a rhetorical question, right? And here, what is that rhetorical question? The common perception of what constitutes a nation. What makes a nation means what constitutes a nation. What makes up a nation? ఏది ఒక దేశాన్ని మంచి దేశంగా, గొప్ప దేశంగా మరి తయారు చేస్తుంది? He begins the essay with that question, right? And here he argues that mere geographical boundaries or political sovereignty do not make a nation. He says that mere geographical boundaries means only the boundaries of the country, okay, the limits of the country, okay, and political sovereignty, political supremacy or supreme power, they cannot make a nation. They only cannot make a nation. Instead, a nation is made up of people. దేశం అంటే కేవలం సరిహద్దులు మాత్రమే కాదు, దేశం అంటే సుప్రీం పవరే కాదు, బట్ దేశం అంటే వాట్ ఈజ్ నేషన్? నేషన్ ఈజ్ మేడ్ అప్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్. దేశం అంటే మట్టి కాదు, దేశం అంటే సరిహద్దులు కాదు, దేశం అంటే మనుషులు. వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్? హూ షేర్ కామన్ ఐడియాస్, who have wonderful ideals, okay, and values, moral values and ethical values, a sense of moral responsibility, and a sense of moral responsibility, very important. Okay, and towards each other, this is very important. A nation is made up of not just because of the geographical boundaries or political sovereignty, but it is made up of people who have common ideals or very good ideals, very good values, and a sense of moral responsibility towards each other. We should have moral responsibility towards each other, okay. And he emphasizes that unity among the people is crucial. He also says that all the people of the country must have unity. They must maintain unity. Unity of religions, unity of castes, unity of places, unity of states. ఇలాంటి యూనిటీ ఉంటే what happened? That's very important for the strength and survival of a nation. To make this country strong, to make this country survive, the people must have unity. ప్రజలందరూ యూనిటీని కలిగి ఉంటే ఆ దేశం మంచి బలాన్ని కలిగి ఉంటుంది, అనేక కాలాల పాటు మనుగడలో ఉంటుంది ఆ దేశము. సో హియర్ దిస్ యూనిటీ ఈజ్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ టుడే దీస్ డేస్ పీపుల్ డోంట్ ఫైండ్ యూనిటీ బికాస్ దే ఆర్ డివైడెడ్ బై ద పొలిటీషియన్స్ ఇంటూ కాస్ట్ అండ్ రిలీజియన్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ దట్. The political leaders with vested interests have divided the people of this country into religions, into castes and all that. They have divided the people into languages. భాషలుగా, కులాలుగా, మతాలుగా ప్రజలను వర్గీకరిస్తున్నారు, విడదీస్తున్నారు. దానివల్ల ఈనాడు దేశంలో యూనిటీ అనేది లేకుండా పోయింది. ఇవన్నీ నిజంగా చాలా దే ఆర్ పెర్టర్బింగ్ థింగ్స్, ఓకే, డిసప్పాయింటింగ్ థింగ్స్, ఆందోళనకరమైన విషయాలు, రైట్. అండ్ హియర్ యూ పే అటెన్షన్. హీ డిస్కసెస్ ద ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ షేర్డ్ కల్చరల్ హెరిటేజ్ అండ్ ట్రెడిషన్స్ అండ్ ఇన్ ఫాస్టరింగ్ నేషనల్ యూనిటీ. సో ఇన్ ప్రమోటింగ్ నేషనల్ యూనిటీ, వాట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్? అండ్ హీ సేస్ ద పీపుల్ మస్ట్ ఎంజాయ్ the cultural heritage. Shared means common, combined cultural heritage. Okay, and traditions. Okay, he suggests that a nation must have a common language, literature, and art. So he suggests that all the people of this country must be united into one people with a common language, common literature, and common art. Okay, so common language must be there, common culture must be there, common heritage must be there. So then only what happens is all the people of this country can come together and live together, and they live a united life. They think they are all one. Okay, like that. And here Rajaji said that all the people of this country must have common language, common culture, common literature, common art, so that can reflect the values and aspirations of its people. So having common language, common culture, common literature is not that possible, but he wishes for that. Okay, he wishes for that because they reflect what the values and the aspirations of the people. Aspiration means ambitions of its people. He also underscores the significance of a shared history, which helps people identify with their nation and develop a sense of belonging. So here Rajaji emphasizes the importance, the significance of a shared history. You know very well, India was ruled by Mughals and Britishers. No, common history is there. Common history. Shared history means common history is there. Many kingdoms ruled this country. If at all we feel we have a common history, we can live together with one mind and one feeling. Okay, with the feeling of oneness. That combined history, that common history can unite all the people of this country. Right. Moreover, Rajagopalachari argues that economic prosperity alone cannot make a nation great. That means, only riches cannot make a nation great. Okay, wealth cannot make a nation great. Then what is that can make a nation great? Means he points out that moral and ethical values are essential for true greatness of a nation. That means, only because of the people having moral and ethical values, okay, a nation can become a truly great nation. Only through those people having moral and ethical values, a nation can become truly a great nation, right? He believes that a nation's greatness lies in the character of its people. So the greatness of a nation lies only in the character of the people. If the people have good character, then what happens? That nation is called a great nation. If the people do not have good character, that country cannot become a great nation, right? And their commitment to justice, that means the people must become devoted to justice. That means the people must remain honest and truthful. Okay, and willingness to make sacrifices for the common good. And the people must be ready for sacrifices for the sake of this country. Okay, only through the people ready to make sacrifices, only through the people being truthful and honest, a nation can become truly a great nation. That is there. So that is what he tells us in this paragraph. In the concluding part of the essay, Rajagopalachari highlights the role of education in nation building. So in the concluding part of that essay, Rajagopalachari emphasizes the importance of education in the nation building. If a nation is to be built strongly, okay, then all the people of that country must be well educated. Okay, if the people are well educated, that nation becomes very strong. That emerges as a strong nation, right? And he asserts that education should not be limited to acquiring only knowledge and skills, but should also focus on inculcating moral values and a sense of duty towards the nation. This is a very, very important sentence of this essay. That means, the people should not be given only general knowledge, okay? It's not enough for the people to get knowledge and skills, but they should also possess what? Moral values, ethical values, and they should also possess a sense of duty towards the nation. Whenever this nation gives a call, you must be ready to sacrifice your life for the sake of this nation. So that is very important. Simply getting education is not enough. Simply getting skills is not enough. You must also be taught moral values, ethical values. You must be filled with what? Honesty, integrity, and compassion, and all such great qualities the people must possess. And they must also be filled with a sense of duty. They must be filled with a sense of duty towards this nation. Whenever this nation gives a call, call to you. You must be ready to sacrifice your everything for the sake of this country. So that's very important. Whenever there are such a people in any nation, that nation can become a strong nation and a rich nation. And here this Rajaji is appealing to all the people of this country to have all those good qualities in them. And they must have a sense of duty. They must have a sense of responsibility. And they must behave with responsibility. And they must be ready to sacrifice for this country. So all such great qualities, if at all the people of this country have, then only this nation can become truly a great nation, a truly a rich nation. This is what Rajaji tells you in this essay. And here he calls for the cultivation of virtues such as honesty, integrity and compassion among the citizens. Already I have told you about this. The people must have these virtues. What kind of virtues should the people have? Honesty is very important. Whatever you do, you must do it with honesty. ఏదైనా చేసుకోబోయి నువ్వు నిజాయితీగా ఉండాలి. ఈరోజు నిజాయితీ అనేది ఎక్కడ కనిపిస్తుందా? You only think of that. I am not criticizing anybody. My time is over. Okay. And I cannot criticize anybody. Here you pay attention. So here all the people must have these qualities, honesty, integrity, goodness. Okay. And compassion, kindness. And these three qualities must be inculcated in the people of this country, which are crucial for the development of strong and united nation. Only whenever the people have these three good qualities, then that country can stand as a united nation. Strong nation and a united nation. So then that is therefore called a rich nation, a great nation, a wonderful nation, a glorious nation. With this essay comes to an end. Very briefly, I have taught you this essay, and now we are going to learn about the literary devices employed in this essay. Okay, literary devices employed in the essay, What Makes a Nation. Very quickly, let us learn about all these literary devices. And here in the essay, What Makes a Nation by C. Rajagopalachari uses strategically. Strategically means very meaningfully the various literary devices in order to communicate the deeper philosophical and moral principles. Okay, he uses the literary devices in order to communicate what? In order to convey what? The deeper philosophical and moral principles that he believes are essential for the foundation of a true and lasting nation. So these moral principles are the very, very important, very essential for the foundation of a true and a lasting nation, a permanent nation. Therefore, for the purpose of conveying the deeper and philosophical moral principles, he has made use of various literary devices in his essay. And here below are given some of the key literary devices employed in the essay. Okay, and one by one, some 10 or 11 I have mentioned here, and I would like to explain all of them very briefly. Allusion. Allusion means giving reference of something is called allusion. So in the story, in the essay, Rajagopalachari frequently alludes to historical events. Okay, historical events means Indian historical events, cultural references, religious texts to ground his ideas. To ground means to support his ideas in a broader context. Okay, and for example, he often refers to India's struggle for independence. So in this essay, he frequently refers to Indian freedom struggle and teachings of figures like Mahatma Gandhi. He also alludes to the principles or the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. So in this way, you can find these two allusions in this essay. The allusion to India's struggle for independence, the allusion to the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, metaphor is there. Metaphor means a direct comparison without using the words like and as. Okay, that's a direct comparison. Metaphors are used to make abstract ideas more tangible. Abstract ideas are vague ideas, okay, but they are made tangible. Tangible means visible, okay, by comparing them to familiar concepts. How here you pay attention, Rajagopalachari might refer to a nation as a garden. He refers to this India to a garden. India is just like a garden. Instead of saying like a garden, he directly says India is a garden. And here that needs nurturing and care, and this garden needs nurturing and care and watering and everything it needs. Okay, that means this India, this nation needs some kind of support, some kind of strength to grow up and to become great and rich. Okay, and here where the citizens are the plants, so India is compared with a garden, and people of that country are compared with the plants. So in this way, in this essay, this is not mentioned clearly, but indirectly it is mentioned. Therefore, it is a metaphor. India is a garden, he says. India is like a garden, he did not say. India is a garden where the citizens are like plants, where the citizens are plants, something like that. So here India and citizens are compared indirectly with the garden and plants. So therefore it is a metaphor. Parallelism is there. Parallelism means, very well, using of same sentence structures for emphasis sake. Parallelism, same sentence structure. So how the author uses parallel sentence structures to draw comparisons and strengthen his points. For that purpose, he has used parallel sentence structures. And here you pay attention. It is not wealth that makes a nation, but character. It is not armies that build strength, but see the same sentence. It is not wealth that makes a nation, but only character makes a nation. It is not armies that build strength, but only sacrifices will build strength. So in this way, it is not wealth, it is not armies. So these are parallel constructions. Okay, sentence structures. This sentence is just like this sentence. So both sentences look alike, and of course the words are different, but both sentences look alike. That means the sentence structures are the same. So such sentence structures are called parallelism. Right. Now you move on to the next literary device. Antithesis is there. Antithesis means presentation of opposite ideas side by side. Side by side, putting two opposite ideas. That is called antithesis. And let us see how. Contrasting ideas are often juxtaposed. Juxtaposed means put side by side to highlight the difference between what truly constitutes a nation and what merely appears to do so. So that is there. And the example is given here. A nation is not built by power but by compassion. See that? A nation is not built by power but by compassion. So these two things are put side by side. By power, by compassion. These are the two opposite ideas, but they are put side by side so as to highlight the difference between what truly constitutes a nation, what truly makes a nation. Therefore, by power, a nation is built by power but by compassion, not by dominance. Dominant means it's not by authority but by service. So these are the two opposite ideas, but they are put side by side so as to highlight the difference between what truly constitutes a nation and what merely appears to do so. So this merely appears to make a nation great, but actually this only makes a nation great. This appears to make a nation great, but actually this only makes a nation great. So that means by compassion a nation can be built, by service a nation can be built. So nation can be built strong only by compassion and by service. So that is called an antithesis. It's also a very important, interesting literary device. And now let's move on to the next literary device. Personification. You know this very well. Attributing human traits. Traits means qualities to inanimate objects or abstract ideas. This you know very well. And here Rajagopalachari personifies the nation as an identity. As an entity. As an entity means as a person with moral and ethical responsibilities. So here Rajagopalachari personifies this nation as a person with moral and ethical responsibilities. So in this way he is making this nation, that is India, a person. So this is called a personification. How? Let us look at the example. Yes, a nation has a soul. Does a nation have a soul? No. That soul is shaped by the character of its people. So here is a nation has a soul. Only human beings will have a soul. They are only said to have a soul. But here a nation does not have a soul. But here this inanimate object is attributed the human quality of having a soul. And therefore in this example you can find personification. Right. And now let's move on to the next literary device. Emotive language. Emotive language, language evoking emotions. Emotive means full of emotions is called emotive. Pertaining to emotions is called emotive, right? Emotive language, language evoking emotions. Here emotional appeals are made through the use of language that evokes feelings of patriotism, justice and duty. So in this essay, Rajaji has used certain words, certain expressions that really evoke the feelings of patriotism, feelings of justice and feelings of duty, right? What are they? Let us look at them. Words like sacrifice, honor, duty, freedom, all these words are used to connect with the reader's emotions. Whenever you come across this word, you remember at once certain songs of patriotism. Some famous Hindi song is there, that is, Dil diya hai jaan bhi denge, ye watan tere liye jaan bhi denge. O deshamani kosama pranam istamaya. So something like that. No, you are, whenever this word is said, you connect to that word. Because thousands of people have sacrificed their lives for the sake of this country. And that is why we could get independence in 1947. Without their sacrifice, we could not have got independence. Honor is that. Duty. It's our duty. Right. Freedom. So all these words used to connect with the reader's emotions. So here this is therefore called emotive language. Right. And now you move on to the next literary device. Rhetorical questions are there. Already I have told you about the rhetorical questions. Questions asked only for effect with no answer expected. No answer is expected, but the question is asked. Dr. Sina Reddy is asking a question in that song already just now I have told you. Ekkadikeltundi desham emaipotundi. It's a question. Himashaila shikaram paika patalaku haram loka. Ekkadikeltundayya ee desham. He is asking this question, but he is not expecting any answer from anybody. That is therefore called a rhetorical question. Right. The author uses rhetorical questions to provoke thought and engage readers in a reflection on their own understanding of national identity. So here he is asking various rhetorical questions in this essay so that you can think of them. You can reflect upon those questions. One example is given. Can a nation thrive when its citizens are divided by hatred and greed? See, this is a beautiful question. There are several rhetorical questions in this essay. What is he saying? Can a nation thrive? Can a nation prosper when its citizens are divided by hatred and greed? Not only by hatred, hatred for other religions, hatred for other castes. Today, the people are filled with hatred. The people are filled with greed, durasha, asahanam, asahyam. వేరే మతస్థులంటే అసహ్యము, వేరే కులాలంటే అసహ్యము, నువ్వే మంచోడివి, నువ్వే అంత గొప్పోడివి, నీకే అంత కావాలి, దురాశ, అసహ్యము, అసహనం ఇవి నిండుకుపోయినాయి ప్రజలలో ఈ రోజుల్లో. అంతందరి కోపాలు వస్తాయి కానీ అందరికి అట్లనే ఉంది. ఇఫ్ ద పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఫిల్డ్ విత్ hatred and greed, can a nation thrive? Can a nation prosper? Can a nation grow into a rich nation and a great nation? So this is a rhetorical question. What makes a nation? That's also a rhetorical question. There are so many rhetorical questions in this essay. You please, they are all meant for you to think about. Let's move on to the next literary device. Repetition is there. Repetition means the act of repeating. Repetition of expressions for effect's sake. Certain expressions in this essay are repeated again and again. So that is all only for effect's sake. Here you pay attention, key ideas are repeated throughout the essay to drive home central themes, particularly those of moral strength and unity. So that is there. And here you pay attention, the repeated use of the word character. Character. So emphasizes its importance in building a strong and lasting nation. You know very well, if the people have good character, then this nation can become a great nation, a true nation, a glorious nation. So only if the people have good character. You know very well, if money is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. You know that very well, because character is very, very important. Without this character, you cannot prosper, and this country also cannot prosper. You know that very well. Now you move on to the next literary device. Ninth one, analogy said. Analogy means what? Comparison of two otherwise unlike things based on resemblance of a particular aspect. Okay, and so comparison is called analogy. So here Rajagopalachari often uses analogies to simplify complex ideas and make them easier for the reader to understand. Some analogies are used, comparisons. Okay, and he might compare a nation to a family. Okay, a nation is just like a family. So when a nation is compared with a family, you can easily understand. For your easy understanding sake, he has compared these two things, where mutual care, respect are essential for unity. In the family, mutual care and respect are essential. In the same way, in nation also, people should have mutual care and mutual respect. In that way, he made use of several analogies in this essay, and this is also very important literary device. Appeal to ethics. Ethics means ethos. So what is this? The essay frequently appeals to ethical and moral considerations, positioning the nation's strength in its moral fiber rather than its economic military power. So instead of economic and moral power, only the people must have ethical and moral values, and therefore only whenever the people have ethical and moral values, they only can make this nation very great. So every time he mentioned about the ethical values and moral values and all that. And here you see that Rajagopalachari often emphasizes the importance of values like honesty, compassion, and selflessness. So these are the great values of life. If at all anybody possesses these three great qualities, that person becomes a great person, that nation becomes a great nation. Okay, so far you have learnt about the literary devices which the writer C. Rajagopalachari has employed in the essay What Makes a Nation. Now we are going to solve an exercise given on this essay. Please try to answer all the questions on your own. If at all you cannot answer any one of them, please go to the last slide of this video. Right. And now let us look at the questions given here. Multiple choice questions on the essay What Makes a Nation. And what does Rajagopalachari argue is the primary foundation of a nation? Okay, you understand the question very well, and options given here are economic prosperity, political sovereignty, shared moral and ethical values, military strength. Okay, and out of these four options, you choose the correct option. That will be your answer, right? And you go to the next question. According to the essay, what is more important than geographical boundaries in defining a nation? So you know very well what are the options given here: natural resources, cultural heritage, political alliances, economic policies. Okay, now let's move on to other questions. Third one, what does Rajagopalachari emphasize as crucial for national unity? A common religion, a strong economy, shared cultural traditions, a large population. So you know the answer very well. Please try to answer this question. You go to the fourth question. Rajagopalachari suggests that economic prosperity alone cannot make a nation great. What does he believe is essential instead? Instead of that, what is that can make a nation great? Here are given some options: military power, cultural diversity, moral and ethical values, technological advancement. So out of these four options, you choose your right option. Now you move on to other questions. Fifth one, in the essay, what role does Rajagopalachari assign to education in nation building? Providing technical skills, promoting political ideologies, inculcating moral values, enhancing economic growth. So that is there, you know the answer. You go to the next question. Rajagopalachari compares the moral fabric of a nation to which of the following? Moral fabric of a nation: the foundation of a building, the branches of a tree, the waves of the ocean, the colors of a flag. Okay, now you move on to seventh one. What does Rajagopalachari identify as the main factor that helps people develop a sense of belonging to a nation? Try to understand this question and then answer the question, right? And here what are the options given? Political freedom, shared history, economic stability, military achievements. You know the answer very well. You go to the 8th question. According to Rajagopalachari, what is the relationship between a nation's greatness and the character of its people? Okay, what is the relationship between the nation's greatness and the character of its people? You know very well, if the people have good character, automatically the nation can become a great one. You know that very well. Some link is given here. So what is the relationship means? They are unrelated. No, greatness is solely based on economic power. Greatness depends on the character of its people. Greatness is determined by military conquest. What is the right one? You know the answer very well. Okay, and now you move on to which of the following does Rajagopalachari not consider essential for making a nation? Common language, ethical values, economic wealth, shared cultural heritage. Okay. How does Rajagopalachari believe a nation should be judged? By its military strength, by its technological advancements, by the moral character of its people, or by its economic growth. What is the correct one? You know that very well. Everything is very clear. Try to understand the question. That's very important. Even in the examination also, you have to understand the question thoroughly well. Then only you can answer the question correctly. Please keep this point in your mind. Now you move on to other questions. What does Rajagopalachari believe is the ultimate source of strength for a nation? What is the ultimate source of strength for a nation? Natural resources, military alliances, unity among its people, foreign investments. Which of the following does Rajagopalachari suggest is a key element in fostering national pride? What is that can foster your national pride, that can increase, that can promote your national pride? So let us look at the options given. High GDP, common cultural practices, strong political leadership, military victories. You know that very well. Now let's move on to other questions. In the essay, Rajagopalachari emphasizes the importance of which of the following in building a nation? What is that which is very important in building a nation? So here 4 options are given. Technological innovation, moral education, political stability, economic policies. Okay. And you go to the next one. What does Rajagopalachari say about the role of shared history in nation building? Shared history means common history or a combined history. You know, India has a combined history. All the states of this country have a combined history. You know, all this country was ruled by the Mughals, Guptas. Various dynasties, various kings ruled this country. And therefore all the people of this country have the shared history. That means combined history, common history. So here he says, what is the role of that? Means it is insignificant, it is divisive, it helps people identify with their nation, it should be forgotten. What is the correct answer? You choose it. And you move on to other questions. Rajagopalachari's view of a true nation emphasizes which of the following? Political boundaries, military power, ethical foundations, technological superiority. Questions on C. Rajagopalachari. These 15 questions are based on the essay, What Makes a Nation, right? And now 10 more bits are given. So they are just based on the life of C. Rajagopalachari, right? And C. Rajagopalachari was the first Indian to hold which position? You know that very well. President of India, Prime Minister of India, Governor General of India, Chief Justice of India. You know that very well. Right, you move on to other questions. 17th one. Rajagopalachari was awarded the Bharat Ratna in which year? 1950, 1954, 1962, 1970. In which of the following fields did C. Rajagopalachari not contribute significantly? Literature, politics, economics, law. You know that very well. You choose the right one. Right, you move on to the 19th one. Which Indian leader was Rajagopalachari closely associated with? He was very much associated with some great Indian leader. Associated means he was a companion, he was a friend of that great leader. Who was that great leader? You know that very well. Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. You move on to the 20th question. Rajagopalachari was a strong advocate of which social reform? So he was a strong supporter. Advocate means I have told you about that. In the essay, advocate means supporters. He was a strong supporter of which social reform? Okay. Yes, caste system, child labor, education, women's rights. Yes, which social reform did he talk about in this essay? Out of these four, you choose the right one. Now you move on to 21st question. Which state did Rajagopalachari serve as Chief Minister? West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Rajagopalachari's writing style is best described as, how was his writing style? Ornate and ornate means full of ornamental, decorative and that. Ornate and complex, simple and clear, highly technical, abstract and philosophical. What is the right one? You just choose the right one. You go to 23rd one. Rajagopalachari translated which of the following ancient texts into English? Perhaps I have not dealt with this point in the video. Even then, you can answer this. He has translated Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all of the above. Go to the 24th question. What is that? In addition to his political career, Rajagopalachari was known for his work in which of the following areas? Science and technology, classical music, moral and ethical philosophy, modern art. Okay. Yes, you can easily tell us about. You can easily give the answer to this question. You go to the last question of this exercise. 25th one. Which of the following best describes Rajagopalachari's vision for India? A technologically advanced nation, a nation built on moral and ethical foundations, a military superpower, a nation driven by economic policies. Now let us move on to know the answers for all these questions. Answers for the questions from 1 to 10. These are the correct answers. You tally your answers with these answers and check whether you are right or wrong. How many right things you have done. That's very important. You go to answers for the questions from 11 to 20th. These are the answers for the questions from 21st to 25th. Okay. And with this video comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello dear DSC candidates, thank you so much for watching this beautiful video, and if you have any problem in understanding any of the points that I have dealt with, please text me your problems in the comment section. Okay, as far as possible I try to answer all those questions. Okay, make use of the comment section. Okay, right, and with another beautiful video I shall be back to you. Until then, bye, see you, all of you.